I actually already shot this video yesterday, but because I used the wrong camera settings, it was so high definition and so many frames per second, I accidentally crashed my computer several times while I was trying to render the video into a final product. So spent time recording it, doing all the editing, and it just would not get to the final stage where I could upload it. Yeah, my computer got overheated several times and just shut down. So gonna do this one a little bit differently today. But before we get into all the details, my name is Brian and I'm a reseller. I resell on eBay in the everything category. So I sell toys, tools, clothing, pots, pans, you name it. If there's profit attached to it, I'm probably trying to sell it on eBay. I buy things at estate sales, garage sales, thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, all sorts of places to resell it on eBay, hopefully for a profit. We'll talk about that a little bit more today, but this video will be a little bit different than other, weekly sales videos that I've done. First of all, because it's so late in the next week. It's Friday the 29th right now, August 29th, and we're talking about last week's sales, but I've also got 4 orders that I'll be packing up and getting shipped out this morning as well. So we're going to do that all at the same time and just see how that goes. If you notice the thumbnail, last few weeks definitely been slacking. I've got a good reason for it that I'm going to be talking about next week. Well, might be a good reason, we'll see, but I'll be talking about that in detail next week. Did get 28 sales come in this past week, or last week, so that would be the 18th through the 24th. So August 18th to the 24th, that Monday through Sunday, I had 28 orders come in, which lines up perfectly with my goal of selling 1% of my inventory per day. That worked out. Hitting my profit margin didn't work out. A lot of the reason I got those sales in is because I was running a store sale for, I think, 3, 4, 5 of those days. It was quite a few days during that 7 days. I ran a 25% off sale and had a lot of items selling that way. So definitely took a hit on my profit margin. 26 of the 28 items I sold last week were on a store sale or an offer. So a significant number. Normally it might be, I don't know, 50% or so or less, but had a lot of items that didn't sell at full price last week. Only 2 sold at full price. So in total though, I'll throw some numbers up here, even though I don't have all the detail with me. I did sell $765.13 total revenue for the week. That's item sales and shipping revenue. So it's item revenue and shipping revenue. After everything shook out, cost of goods, shipping labels, promo fees, final value fees, everything all in, ended up with $265.01 of pre-tax profit for a 35% profit margin. Missed my goal by quite a bit. My profit margin goal is 45%, and I sold 4 personal items last week. Whenever I sell a personal item, I zero out the profit at the end, so it's a 0% profit margin, and that did drag me down quite a bit. I didn't look at it, but I bet that if I took those 4 items out of the equation, I'm probably more at a 40% plus profit margin for the week still, even running the sale and having promoted listings. So let's talk quickly about the worst 5 items that sold last week. So the worst 5 items. First one's going to be this Campbell soup timer I picked up at a fill-a-basket sale at an estate sale. There were $10 to fill up an entire shopping basket. It's just like the one you get at the grocery store or a Target or something. It's just a little basket up front with the wire handles. And I shoved so much stuff in these baskets for $10. I got a quarter into this Campbell soup timer and ended up selling it for, I don't know, the numbers are up here, $4.50 or something plus shipping, $4.60 or something like that plus shipping. Not a great profit maker, but I moved it out fairly fast within a few weeks. The person who bought it, his last name was Campbell. Which I thought was pretty awesome. The 4th, 3rd, and 2nd worst sales of the week, and worst for me is just the lowest profit dollars. So it's not the fourth, third, and second, all the same item. And I'm going to keep selling them because I think I've got 50 more of them. It's a multi-quantity listing. Are these Oregon chainsaw? It's a depth gauge and file for sharpening chainsaw teeth on the chain. So picked up a bunch of these chainsaw accessories at a garage sale. Picked up 413 pieces. All in, I'm into it for 15 cents per piece because I paid $60 for the bundle. And these depth gauges have been selling really well. All of them I sold for $8.17 a piece. The profit margins a little bit, or the profit dollars are a little bit different on each one because of I'm selling them for free shipping. And so depending on where I'm shipping them to, it costs me a little bit less or a little bit more. So you'll see all that up on the screen, the final pre-tax profit dollars, like $1.99, $1.98, and $1.86, something like that. But which doesn't sound awesome until you understand I've got 15 cents per piece. I took one picture and I'm selling, I think I've sold like 20 pieces now of that item, and I've still got 50 or 60 more to sell. So I'm gonna make my money back on that entire bundle twice over just on this one item, and then I've still got thousands more dollars of stuff to sell. So it's a pretty interesting deal picking up all those chainsaw accessories. So you see those, and then the worst sale from last week is this set of K'NEX. I picked up for $7.50 at Goodwill. I took an offer. I've had it sitting for months, 8 or 9, 10 months, something like that, and just a bad buy. So I was happy to get it out of the store. Got an offer for $10 and took it. Lost about 32 cents on it, which is fine with me, just to get some money back in my pocket to reinvest into good inventory and put back in the business. So got that one sent out, and yeah, losing 32 cents is not the end of the world. Guarantee it. It's better to do that and put some money back in your store and get things turning again than to just dig in, that you gotta make some money on that item. So opportunity cost that's what that is. If you're not selling it, there's a cost of opportunity, not having the money, putting it back into the business and turning it more and more times. So that's the 5 worst. Not too bad. The 5 best I'll throw up here fairly quickly. Number 5 were these Lynx golf bag zipper pools. So I was at an estate sale. They had a free pile of just junk on the side of the house that anybody could take or whatever. There was a golf bag. It was in really bad shape, and I just used the backside of my pocket knife and I pried open the backside of the zippers and where the pool is attached, and popped all these off. So they were free to me. I sold the set for I think 15 bucks plus shipping, and really cool pieces if you're into golf at all, and got those out the door. Sold this AT&T pen. This is the second one that I had. I sold the other one for full price. This one, and I sold them back-to-back weeks, which was interesting because I've had them for quite a while. But picked it up at an estate sale for $1. Sold it for around 17, 18 bucks, somewhere in there. You'll see that up here, plus shipping. It's the last piece of AT&T swag I have. Really, really cool piece. It's a Parker Jotter pen, which is their iconic pen. They've sold probably millions of Parker Jotter pens. Yeah, glad to have that one going out the door. I sold this pair of Roundhouse overalls that I picked up at a garage sale for $5, and I think I sold them for $29.92, something like that. I'm going off memory a little bit on these. So it's a hickory stripe pattern. If you see that blue and white stripe, like you'd see like on a train conductor's hat, something like that, that's what I think of. It's called a hickory stripe. So pretty decent profit on those. It's plus shipping. All my clothing I sell flat rate shipping. So I think I had $12.99 shipping on those to go out, and usually I make a little bit of money on my shipping on my clothing. So then the second best was this pair of Joe's jeans, which is not typical for me. I see a fair amount of Joe's jeans at the thrift store, but I don't pick them up because used, I'll have to pay $10.50 for jeans at Goodwill, unless it's they're on half off or something like that. But if they're full price, they're $10.50, and the used Joe jeans don't sell for enough. to make it worth it. These were brand new with tags, so I was able to sell them on sale for about 44 bucks and make some pretty good money on those jeans. So happy to have those go out the door. And then the best seller of the week was this pair of painted overalls. So originally they were Liberty brand overalls. You can see that on the buttons, but there was somebody on Etsy who had their own brand called Sheer Fab, and they would take these old overalls and paint them, hand paint them with all these cool patterns and stuff, and then sell them on Etsy for 150 bucks a pair. And I found a pair at a garage sale for 10 bucks. I didn't know anything about all this at the time, but you know, just looked up some quick information, found out they were selling for a decent amount of money, even used, and decided to give them a shot and put them up on eBay. So ended up paying 10 for them at the garage sale and sold them for $79.89 plus shipping. This was an interesting one because the buyer, before paying for them, did message me and say, hey, you know, what size are these? And if they don't fit, can I return them? I don't know if they were asking for free returns. I already have returns in my store, buyer paid returns, but you know, I just made a decision at that point. I wanted to sell them. It's a really unique item. I didn't have a lot of action on them at all over the past, you know, handful of months that I've had them, probably about 6 months. So I said, well, I've got all the measurements in pictures 12 through 16, so you can see all the measurements. I said, but if you look at those and you feel like they'll work, buy them. If they don't work, you know, I'll send you a shipping label to send them back. And it's not something I normally do. I don't have free returns turned on right now. I think it's something I probably should spend more time paying attention to and possibly try it. I know a lot of people recommend that, but it's just not something I pulled the trigger on yet. And so she bought the overalls, and I had somebody, whenever I initially talked about the sale, say, hey, that was a mistake that you did that. And which I think is hilarious, that people want to, not knowing the entire situation of what people think about what they're doing in their business, say you just made a mistake. And I can't imagine being so confident that I knew somebody else's business that I would tell them they're making a mistake in what they're doing. But anyhow, I don't feel like I made a mistake. It's a calculated risk, and I'm willing to take it, and we'll see what happens. I really hope she loves the overalls, because it certainly sounded like that. I kind of condensed the messaging that went back and forth, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that was the best seller of the week, and I was glad to have them go out the door. So that's really it for the week. Had 28 items sell. I've got some pictures now of a few items I'm going to be listing today, but I'm still slacking on my listings. I've got some other stuff, a couple other things I've been spending most of my time working on, in addition to being, you know, sending my son off to college and then going back up there earlier this week to drop off some stuff for him. But it's just been super busy. I feel like, I don't know, I feel a little bit discombobulated, but I think things are on the right track right now, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that next week. Probably Thursday's video next week. We'll see. But I've got 4 items that sold yesterday on Thursday. We're gonna get those shipped out today. Yesterday morning, I did do a complete delist and relist of my entire store. So I had 346 active listings. Took them all down, put them all back up, and within just a couple hours, I started getting sales on some items that have been sitting in my store for quite a while. One on an offer, some full price. So 3 of the 4 items that sold have been sitting in the store for quite a while, and I'm glad they're going to go out the door. So take a look at them. First one that sold this is from 2006. This is a reproduction. I think it's a reproduction Fisher-Price toy. But picked this up at an estate sale. The very first video I posted on this channel was at an estate sale, and I bought a bunch of old toys, and this is one of them. Whenever you pull it, the little drummer guy drums, the little deals here are hooked under the bottom. Really cool piece. Got $2 into it. It's just a year shy of being vintage. It's got their certificate of authenticity from the Toy Town Museum in East Aurora, New York. Really cool. They did limited editions of these each year. They did these museum shows. So because it's got a bunch of moving pieces and kind of clanks around, what I'm going to do is set this down inside, and then I'm going to stuff some bubble wrap in there to keep it quiet and keep it from clanking around. Probably still going to be some clanking. We're going to see. Oh, that pretty much did it. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. I might stuff just a little bit of extra bubble wrap in there. Put a little bit of shrink wrap around the box. Even though this doesn't really add a lot to the box, there's no necessarily structural integrity or padding. For user experience, I do think people like seeing their stuff well packaged. So I don't know, that's probably a lot of people's comments in their feedback, but I get a lot of feedback about the way I package products. So I pre-selected this box just to use the Amazon box to get this sent out in. A little bit of paper there. Get the box in, and then we're just going to make a little cocoon all the way around the box. I spent my entire professional career in distribution, and we were selling thousands of different shaped items going in boxes. We shipped on our own trucks, but we were shipping stuff was, moving around for hundreds of miles as we were crossing state lines. So I realized pretty fast the importance of making sure stuff was packed properly. I was in the sales side, and if stuff wasn't packed properly, I'd get phone calls from my customers going, "Hey, I've got all this broken stuff. I need to get credits." So very important to, not try to save a few cents on a couple pieces of paper and send stuff out that's going to break. You don't want to do that. So I typically overfill my packages just a little bit so they're nice and snug. Got some old labels here. The vast majority of my orders, probably 99.5% of my orders, get shipped in used boxes. My dad scavenges all the boxes for me. I know some people don't like using used boxes to ship. They like to only ship in new boxes, and I can't fault anybody for that. This is just one thing that, a couple of reasons, I feel like you could probably keep stuff out of landfill, even though they could be recycled. And it saves me a little bit of money. Yes, I have to take off some shipping labels, but still it works out pretty good. All right, good to go there. Next item that sold. This is a Disney Winnie the Pooh. It's a little teapot. cup. Really cool piece. It's got little phrases on there. A spot of tea to warm your thoughts. It's got all the characters. It's got Piglet. It's got Eeyore. It's got Winnie the Pooh, Tigger. Really cool little piece. Picked that one up at it's a Hallmark piece. This is who it's made by. I picked it up at Goodwill for $4.50, and whenever I relisted everything, it ended up going out the door for full price. And this one I'd sent a bunch of offers on previously, and never got anybody to buy it, but relisting it, put it as a new item, sold full price for $29.89 plus shipping. So $4.50 into $29.89 plus shipping. It's pretty good. Just had a little dust on there. It's been sitting down for a handful of months in my little coffee mug bin there, box I should say. Okay. About to run out of shrink wrap, which I've got an extra roll under the shipping table here. I will link all of my shipping items in the description in case anybody wants to know where I pick everything up. And whenever I'm putting stuff inside of a box and I'm using bubble wrap, I don't use tape. I think tape is such a pain in the butt to get off of things. So I use stretch wrap here to keep things sealed up. I think I'm going to use one of the shoe boxes here. That's what we call them, that my dad gets for me. Picks these up at a local phone company. Great boxes, and I've got so many, and he's got more at his house. Perfect size for that. They're really sturdy, and I use them. I'm going to use another one here in just a few minutes to ship an item in. So that's what it looks like, an item like this before. So I just lay it in the packing paper like that, and then again we're going to do a little cocoon of paper around it and stuff over the top of it. Now I've got the cocoon. Now I'll just stuff some paper over the top. Get some double thick packing paper there. There are tabs set up. Go, nice and tight. Perfect. These have product UPC tags on the back of them. That's where I put my shipping label though, covers it right up, no problem. All right, next item is a hat. I picked this up because I thought my wife might want it. She works at the University of Oklahoma, but it was brand new with tags, Sooners hat with sequins on it. It's a women's hat, but she didn't like it, so decided to go ahead and sell it. Originally it was 28 bucks brand new, probably at the university store. Could be, I don't know, we have some other sports stores around here, but picked it up for $4.31 at Goodwill and ended up selling it for $14.89 plus shipping. We're going to use another one of those boxes actually. They work great for hats. Whenever I sell a hat, I do put them in poly bags just for, again, good user experience, customer experience whenever they get it. It looks just a little bit more professionally packed. Because it's an unstructured hat, some people may even ship these in just poly bags. And I've done some of that before, but I really prefer to ship them in boxes. This should be, once we get to the weighing and shipping part, should be about 12 ounces, maybe a little bit less. I'm just going to drop it in there. Couple pieces of packing paper, lightly wadded up, in good shape. Yeah, it feels like that might even be 8 to 10 ounces. This one's going local. This one's going down to Blanchard, Oklahoma, which is only, I don't know, about 25 minutes from here. Only about 10 minutes from the town that I grew up in. So we'll set that one down. And then the last item, it's a vintage piece. This is from the store Structure. You can probably see the tag there, right there. You can see the tag right there. This is a guy's store. I don't know, I don't think they sold girls clothing, maybe they did. But back in the 90s and early 2000s, I used to shop at Structure in the mall, but it's a really cool shirt. It's a size medium, but whenever you measure it out, it's more like a large to extra large. So in the description, I put men's size medium, parentheses, L-XL. And somebody messaged me this morning, or it was actually late last night, and said, hey, is this a medium or a large, extra large? And I said, well, it's a tag, medium on the tag, but it's in, 90s, 2000s, what's a Y2K shirt, so it's like super baggy, so it's going to fit more like a large or extra large. And so just look at the measurements. And I saw 2 people were interested. I sent an offer on it. This person sent a counter offer, which I accepted. So I paid $7.38 at Goodwill for this shirt and sold it for $20 plus shipping. It's going in a poly bag. So we'll get a poly bag here. There's my inventory tag. I have Uline boxes over here that I keep all my clothing in, and use inventory stickers so I can find them very quickly. If you don't use inventory stickers on your clothing, you're probably digging around for stuff, may have even lost something a time or two. I've done that in the past. Inventory stickers and having a nice system is way better. Way better. You can mix up jeans, shirts, coats, beanie caps, doesn't matter. And if you're just going by the numbers in your inventory system, it makes it so easy to deal with. I didn't use all the shrink wrap, so that's good. All right, let's get the scale out. These guys labeled and ready to go to their new homes. There we go. To be most accurate, I use a blank shipping label that's still on the backer to set on the package when it's on the scale, so I know what the right weight is. And this one's just over a pound. That's too bad. I do ship everything, so I use eBay shipping labels. I do everything from my phone to my thermal printer via Bluetooth. It actually now settled, so at exactly 1 pound. I wish it was 15 ounces, but it's not. That's okay. So 1 pound, this is 11 by 9 by 3. So there we go. So you got to be able to see there. So I'm paying $7.01 for shipping label. The buyer paid $7.99 for the shipping label. So I'm going to make 98 cents on the shipping on that one, which is important. Whenever you're paying fees on the item, you're paying fees on shipping, you're paying fees on taxes. So making sure and covering all your costs is important. You don't want to get caught just eating every cost. Going to Indiana. It's cool. I'm going to do pink today. I haven't done that one in a long time. I do put a note on every one of my outgoing orders. It's usually the same note. Thank you for your purchase. Enjoy. If it's a replacement part for something, I don't always put enjoy. Sometimes I just put thank you for your purchase, because somebody may not enjoy fixing something. You never know. So, but they might. You never know. You never know. Okay. Let's see, we've got that hat next. It is 12 ounces. Most of the hats I ship come out to 12 ounces. So we're going to go get shipping label. Be interested to see if we make some money on this one. 12 ounces, a 12 by 8 by 6 box. Could I put it in a smaller box? Sure. I have so many of these, they're so sturdy. It's easy to use them. All right, so I pay $5.38, buyer pays $6.99, so making $1.61 on that one. Which in a less expensive on a $15 item, that's another 10%. It's not an exact number, but making more money there. You know what? This is a Scissors hat. I'm going to switch to red. Crimson and cream are the colors. Thank you for your purchase, Boomer Sooner. There we go. Get the label put on there. Now we'll do the coffee tea mug. Let's see what we got here. That's 2 pounds, 3 ounces. It's settled in at 2 pounds, 2 ounces. Okay. Let's see, 12 by 8 by 6 box. Buyer paid $8.58. I pay $8.58. So no money to be made there. Not a big deal. Going to Brigham City, Utah. And the last item is the toy drumming soldier. Let's see, we've got 2 pounds 10 ounces on this guy. See how close I was, or I had 3 pounds, so I'm pretty close. But I'm not going to make much money on this one. 2 pounds, it bumped up to 11. All right, no problem. And we're at 15. I'm off a little bit there. 15 by 12 by 7. Whenever I'm close, that was about 6 1/8. I still round up. I don't want to get caught with the wrong measurements. Oh, I didn't do the... $15, $12, $7, 2 pounds 11 ounces. That's so funny. This one's $8.58 too. Where's it going? To Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, I paid $58. Buyer paid $8.58. And we'll get this one printed off. There we go. Button's a little wonky sometimes. All right, that is the 4th and final item going out today. Is the post office even open yet? Yep, they open in 19 minutes. Okay. Post office here opens at 8:30. If you want to set stuff on the desk, you can drop stuff, I think, as early as 7 o'clock into the chute, the big chute out in the lobby. I don't typically do that. I just drop it off the desk. But in any case, that is it. I really appreciate you watching. If you stuck around this far, again, I really appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions at all about anything that I'm doing, using, just any questions, just drop those down in the comment section below and I'll make sure and get back to you. And until next time, have a great day.